If you are into training and movement and the body, how it all works, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Guys, girls, and my often forgotten, but not by me, head balances. Today we are going to be looking at single leg power. So before we get into it, what is power and why is it important? So let's talk about it. If we were to boil power down into a simple equation, it would be strength plus speed would equal your power. So it's force plus velocity equals power. Now, of course, strength and speed are two very different things. You could have a power lifter who could be lifting a humongous amount of weight on his back in a back squat. So imagine he's got his barbell racked and he's lifting God knows how many kilos, and he's going up and he's grinding it out and he's doing it all very, very slow, but he's lifting a ton of weight. That would be a strength. Now, if you wanted to manifest his power, he would have to do that with velocity. So why is this important and why is power desirable? Well, truth be told, no one has ever won a medal for being weak or slow. So if you are into any type of movement training, your ability to exert power is going to help you to produce movement. So the more of it you have, the more options you're going to have in order to create motion and perform certain movements and activities. So today we are going to be looking at single leg power exercises. I'm going to have a range of exercises for you today. Some are going to require equipment, others are not. So let's get right into it. Okay, so the first exercise I have in store for you today will not require any equipment, and it is the lateral lunge, and we're going to do this dynamically. Again, the reason we're doing this dynamically is because we want to exert the force at a high velocity or as fast as you can. So that's how we're going to do these. I'm going to demonstrate and talk you through this particular exercise. So you're going to start with your feet wider than shoulder width apart, and you're going to have a slight turnout in your feet. From here, you are going to lower down into a side or a lateral lunge, and you're going to go as low as you possibly can. From this point, it's important that you start to use your base leg, the quad and the glutes at the back here in order to start lifting yourself up. Keep your chest up and your head high. Don't allow your hips to lift and this hinge at the back to come after. You must keep your core and your trunk stable, and then from here you're going to lift, and in one fell swoop you must jump yourself back into a parallel position. Now the key to this exercise is trying to produce that force from the very bottom of your range. The closer to the bottom of your range you can produce this force, the more useful it's going to be for you in a movement context where you might have to produce that force at a very closed range angle, whether it be a kick up to handstands or whatever it is. So you want to make sure that you're trying to exert this force throughout the whole range. So here we go. I'm going to do another rep. Figure out your stance, and this will depend on your level of hip mobility as well as your inner thigh flexibility. So do factor that as well. You might not be able to go all the way down. In any case, once you get as deep as you can, from here, you're going to switch on the gas to 100 and up and jump yourself to parallel. You are then going to take a step down and repeat. And you're going to do these 4 reps. Now I'm going to show you this exercise from the side so you can have a look at what to do and what not to do. So here's what we don't want to happen. We don't want you to sink down and then do this. Okay, so we are not lifting the hip and then unhinging at the back and using our body to bring us back. We want to keep the chest up, head up, core stable, and exert the power from the bottom. And 2, 3, and so on and so forth. A good volume would be to do 3 sets of 8 of these on each leg. Now, of course, another option is to add some weight to these. So if the body weight version of this exercise is simply too easy for you, you're going to grab a weight. Anything from 4 kgs below is going to be a good start. So same principle applies. You're going to be holding your weight and you're going to be sinking down into your range, and then from the bottom, up and jump and repeat. And do these for reps. I will show you from the side once again. Sink, keep your chest up, don't let the hip lead the movement, and push. That was quite far, quite a good one. And up. And once again, volume for these is going to be 3 sets of 8 reps with realistically anything between 1 kilogram all the way up to 8, maybe even 10. So the next exercise I have in store for you is going to include a little bit more movement and is a variation of the skater squat, which we looked at in the previous episode. However, this time it's going to require you to jump. So we are going to be using a prop. I've got my bolster here, but you can use anything you like, and you're going to use this as a benchmark to jump yourself over. So again, this is going to be a dynamic movement, and it's going to require you to use both legs, one for taking off and then the other one for landing on the other side of the bolster. So you're going to start by lifting one leg off the floor, hinging at your hip, bending the base leg a little bit, and you're going to have the opposite arm to the foot in front, because again, we are working our reciprocal gait. This is the way that we walk. So that's how we are obviously going to operate in our movement pattern here. So starting here, hinge, bend the leg, and the aim of the game is to jump over the bolster. So to do that, you are going to swing the back leg forward and jump, and then you are going to land. Now I'm going to do this one once again very, very slow so you get a hang for the pattern. So lift the back leg off, bend the knees, hinge at the hip, opposite arm to foot is forward, and you're going to drive, swing, land in your single leg position. Now if we add a little bit of force and power to this, we should be jumping over our benchmark. Try and balance and stick your landing. If you do need to readjust the foot on the landing, that's okay for the beginning, but try your best to stick your landing. So here, up, and make sure you use the back leg, the free legs drive, in order to produce a little bit more power and drive your momentum over the object. Here we go once again. Knee drive. My free arm is also driving. And time. Let's do a few more reps to the side. And time. So this particular variation will require a lot more balance and coordination, because you are now involving your reciprocal gait pattern into the task. So you're jumping, you are landing, you are coordinating, and you are producing as much power as possible. Make sure to anticipate the impact of the landing and bend that base knee to sink into it. And once you've sunk into your landing, try to block it. Try not to just collapse all the way down like a noodle. You want to be creating that sort of elastic resistance force on your landing. this is what's going to contribute to your ability to take force and produce it. A good recommendation is to do 3 sets of 6 jumps. Now we are going to revisit an exercise which we already looked at in the previous video, and that is the Bulgarian split squat. The difference being now is, instead of working that single leg strength, so we added weight for that on the previous video, we are now going to work the velocity element as well, and we are going to do that by including a jump. So once again, we are going to set up our Bulgarian split squat. So you want to be setting your foot up on an elevated surface, which is give or take the height of your knees. The lower the better, really. And you've got 2 options to place your foot on the object. You can either place your toes on the object like this. However, I prefer to put my foot flat on it like so. The other thing we need to manage is the distance between our back foot and our front foot. You don't want to be too leant forward over the front foot during these, but you don't want to be too back as well. A little bit of a lean on the shin angle is perfectly viable, and generally speaking, you want your chest to follow the angle of your shin as well, so both of them are on the same angle. So let's set ourselves up, foot up, find your distance, and here we go. Now the normal Bulgarian split will just go like so. This time, however, we are going to be adding a single leg jump. Like so. So your jump, of course, isn't going to be the biggest jump going, but you want your front foot to start taking off the floor a little bit. Now my surface here isn't the most ideal, but things like a sofa, which are more sturdy, or a gym bench are also perfect, as they've got a little bit of padding on the top, and you should feel slightly more secure and more comfortable. And a good volume for these is 3 sets of 8 reps on each leg. Now once again, if you're feeling nice and sparkling, you are going to grab some weights, and you are going to do these weighted. So here we go, get your setup, and in we go. 4, 5, and so on. Now you should feel a pretty intense workout in your quads and hopefully in your glutes as well. As I mentioned before, if you rock the weight into the front of your foot, you're going to be engaging the quads more. If you rock the weight towards the heel of the foot, you can engage your posterior chain, the glutes more. Try to keep the weight evenly spread across the foot for this exercise. Now guys, these are only some of the ways to increase your single leg power. I of course cannot cover all of them in a single video, but these are among the ones that I have found to be great, accessible, and to provide good benefits. So guys, that is all I have in store for you today. Let's do a quick recap of what we went through and why we did it, so you can leave this video with a succinct idea of what the hell it is you just watched and why. So we dealt with single leg power. What is power? Power is your strength plus your speed put together. And why is this useful and important an attribute to have? Well, because it's very desirable if you are into any discipline that requires you to move and to be athletic. Anything from yoga to dancing, ballet, break, tap, climbing, all of these disciplines require some form of power. And even if they don't directly require it and it's not very obvious, you will be in a situation in your discipline where if you had more power, you would feel the ease with which certain movements can come to you. So as far as I'm concerned, your power output is always a desirable attribute to be working to increase, as it'll make your athleticism and your ability to produce movement a lot more easy. And this is part of what this channel is about, guys. I am trying to help you guys become better movers and to feel more powerful, more confident, and greater inside of your bodies. So that's it, guys. If you have got this far and you were thinking throughout this video, God, I really dig Farid's shoes. You can get them at a discount, Vivo Barefoot. The discount code is my name in caps, Farid. Go check them out for some wicked barefoot minimalist training shoes. That's really it now. That is all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed it, give me a like and a comment, guys. It really helps me out. Jump down in there. I will get in the comment section as well and reply to you. And as always, I will see you in the next one.